I'm Gerald Bentley. This is Wrestling with Sales. Today, we are going to hear the lions roar. We are joined by one of the trainers from the New Japan Pro Wrestling New Zealand dojo, the Fale DOJO, Tony Kozina, with New Japan Wrestling, the king of sport. We're at the pinnacle of pro wrestling, talking New Japan and going international all the way to New Zealand. Tony, man, thanks for joining.
Hey, thanks for having us out. We're just
Sure.
here at Fale Dojo, just trying to get the word out, you know.
The Fale Dojo started by a member of the Bullet Club, right? Too Sweet for Life.
Yeah.
So just for people watching this, we're on Wrestling with Sales. We're talking a lot of stuff that you teach, actually. Just checking out your LinkedIn, checking out your Instagram. A lot of the things that you talk about that I think are super important to people in sales. But can you give a little background of New Japan Wrestling to people watching this who are maybe just familiar with WWE and AEW?
Well, New Japan Pro Wrestling is and has been the second largest company in the world. In fact, there was a time, it's been argued around 1994, 95, when it was the biggest company in the world. Mm-hmm. But they've been around since 1972. 1972, Antonio Inoki started this, and it's just forged forward. It was always a destination, one of the top destinations for wrestlers all over the world, remains to this day. And a lot of it is because of the discipline and the training system. A lot of the stars today, even in WWE, they come from the New Japan system. We're talking about Finn Balor, mm-hmm. and AJ Styles came through New Japan. So, sure. You know, just a lot of the top stars in wrestling through the years, you know, have come to New Japan. So,
I mean, still to today, the IWGP US champion right now is Kenny Omega. Will Ospreay in United Empire, arguably the best pro wrestler in the world right now from New Japan Wrestling. What is it about New Japan that separates it? Because I think the training program, the work that you do, the work the trainers do, is a big part of it, and it's something that is directly relatable to people in sales. That's what I really found interesting with your LinkedIn, and you have a post on TikTok and Instagram talking about if you believe you're going to lose, you've already lost.
Yeah, and that, you know what, so much of what we teach here is applicable in get wrestling out of it. You know, if you don't believe you're going to be a successful business person, successful in your marriage, and successful repairing your house or your car, you've got to believe in yourself first, mm-hmm. and foremost. That's how people accomplish the impossible. How they accomplish the impossible. And so that's what we work to instill in everybody. Because when the people come here to Auckland, New Zealand from all over the world, it's a foreign country. They're intimidated. Oh my God, it's Fale Dojo. It's New Japan Pro Wrestling, the NZ Dojo. What's going to happen? It's intimidating. Do I have what it takes? A lot of people freak themselves out and run out of here before they just have a chance to calm down, breathe it in, and recognize that they can get through this one step at a time. So, you know, you have to believe in yourself. Absolutely.
Well, and I think there's some parallels. I've been a manager at Honda dealerships, at Toyota dealerships, at Kia, mm-hmm. and Hyundai. And they all talk about something similar to what Toyota teaches, Kaizen, continuous improvement. I think New Japan Wrestling really leans into that too, which makes sense, right? It's that the philosophy that your will can overcome that the individuals working together as a team to find that success, you can do it. And I've heard you say to your students that you can overcome it, you can win. You need to will your body to the point where you're able to succeed. I think that's just a huge part of what makes New Japan different.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, I can't speak for other parts of New Japan because I haven't had the experience there, but here, Australia, New Zealand, yeah, we insist on that. And again, like I said, we try to guide everybody through it because we're all the same. We're all the same. You know, I've had friends tell me through the years, "Oh, you're different." You know, it's not that there's people are born winners and people are born losers. You've got to get the right frame of mind if you're going to succeed in this world. Wrestling, shoe repair, you know, sales, anything.
Yeah.
It's all across the board. It's the same thing. So, you know, I've done this enough here to where that's what I start looking for straight away. What's the headspace of everybody? Do they have the belief in themselves, or they walk
Just a
there?
little
Oh
delay.
my
There we
God.
go.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's a 13-hour
You
time zone
know,
difference, so we're going to ways.
sometimes sometimes they need a little pep talk and to be kind of walk through it, and then they find themselves and blossom into great young athletes, and it's really cool to see.
Now,
So,
Tony, what got you involved in this side, on the training side? I know you were a competitor, but you also went ahead and you're a certified personal trainer and certified in first aid. So you made a commitment at some point to say, "Hey, I want to move into getting the next generation ready."
well, you know, it's funny. I always, even when I was training under Matt Bourne, and he started a school, and I just picked it up so quickly, and he just asked if I'd help him. Can you just help me warm the guys up? Yeah, of course, because you know you can be my assistant and help me train the guys. Yeah, because that's just more learning for me. You see, so and I did that with Matt. I did that with Matt for right around a year, I think, or maybe a wee bit longer. But and I learned so much from him that you know, after a handful of years, I just kind of started training people on my own, and while it was probably too early for that, no one was stopping me. You see,
Yeah.
For better or for worse. So, but ultimately, over time, and now especially since I've been doing more training than wrestling over here because of COVID and all the other stuff, I over the past couple of years have really fine-tuned and refined the way I approach things, the way that I approach wrestling in general, and indeed our dojo, because you're here and you're living it. Um, it changes these guys' lives, and that's beyond wrestling. You see, so
Sure.
it goes above and beyond. They go home, and their family or their girl blown away at how they're cleaning the house, taking care of responsibilities where maybe they weren't so razor sharp before, or these guys are going home with newfound self-confidence, and then they'll message Fale or they'll message me, "Oh my God, I just went and applied for the job that I wanted because I believe," and then they get the job. I never thought I was good enough for this job, and now I do. It's like, yeah, I mean, again, if you don't believe you're good enough, you're not.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know, I mean, are
and
you going to hire me? You gonna what's that?
I was just going to say, there's a little bit of delay. You get that martial arts discipline instilled too, where everything means something. The little things mean something. We're getting a little bit of a delay there. Let's
Yep.
see. There we
Are you
go.
there? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
I was no. It's just because of the time zone. I was saying that you kind of get that martial arts. The martial arts discipline is in there too. I mean, that's where the dojo comes from, because everything means something, even the real small things like cleaning up the locker room, cleaning up, helping your classmates, and having that interdiscipline where something that's small is significant because you're going to make sure you're doing everything right, and that helps you get the big things right.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that's it. Attention to detail. These guys, and now girls, right? We started because New Japan is working with Stardom, the ladies wrestling promotion in Japan. We started having girls welcome to the dojo as well. So we've got one with us now, and a few more will be joining in the June intake, I believe. But your day starts at 8 a.m. and you're cleaning either the dojo house or the dojo itself, top to bottom, spotless. So respect for yourself, and respect where you live, and respect where you train.
What's a day like for one of the members of the dojo? Because it's a lot different than the U.S. wrestling schools. Because you said you initially started with Matt Bourne.
Oh my God!
So that was in the U.S., right? Matt Bourne, also known, if
yes,
you're not digging into the Wikipedia yet, the original Doink the Clown. And, in the U.S., big-time wrestler in the WWE, spent some time in the NWA, WCW. Good thing is we'll fix this all in post.
there we go.
You go. Oh, it's no big deal. I'll edit the lags out in post. But I was just saying, you started in the U.S. and now you're there in New Japan, and what's a day like for one of the dojo students? It's a lot different than a wrestling school here in America.
Oh, I couldn't tell you about back in the States. The day starts, you're up. You're probably up at 6 a.m. because you got to get your breakfast and get yourself cleaned and showered and ready, because at 8 a.m. your cleaning starts. And so half of the crew comes to the dojo, half of the crew stays about 10 minutes away in the dojo house, and you're cleaning. You're cleaning the house and you're cleaning the dojo top to bottom. I want this place smelling wintergreen fresh when I walk downstairs, and Fale expects the same. You've got 8 a.m. You got 1 hour, 8 a.m., 9 a.m. 9 a.m. sharp by my phone. We start. Okay. You should be ready. You should have your sweat towel ready, your water. You're not running around at 9 a.m. by my phone. If it's 9:01 and you're not, that's 1,000 squats. So it seems sharp, but I tell everybody on orientation day, 9 a.m. So be ready 10 to 9. How hard is that? So, morning stretch, morning run, come back in, and we dig in on our training. So from 9 a.m. to noon, that's when the stretching, the running, and the rest of the training begins.
That's impressive. And then that's where you work on the technical wrestling as well, right?
That doesn't come for a while. I mean, first of all, you gotta be conditioned. Okay. I think of, so conditioning, and when you're up to standards that we're satisfied with, then we start with the grappling, we start with the kickboxing. So you start with the grappling, you start with the kickboxing. Yeah.
How long of a process is that for somebody? How long are they committing, ideally, to get through the dojo experience?
Well, the intakes are 3 months long. So you come here for 3 months, and hey, we've had intakes where guys it took them 3 months and they still weren't up to standards. It took some guys 3 months and they still weren't up to conditioning standards, and they did conditioning for 3 months. We've had others, including this intake here, where we've got a guy with 7 years of MMA experience, And we are just about a month in, 1 month in, and he's already starting to work on the pro wrestling side of things, incorporating his skills into professional wrestling. So it all depends. There's no, I like to. There's a what would you say, a general blueprint, but it's not the law.
Sure.
If you're not up to standards, you can't get to the next level. So conditioning, then it starts with learning to fight. I'm gonna wait here for you.
Oh no, you're good, Tony. You're good.
You there?
Yeah, sure am. Yeah, we just got a little bit of a delay.
Oh, can you hear me?
The space. Yeah, I can hear you. You're good. You're good. Hey, let's take. No, you're good, man. Here, we'll take a quick second. Give a word from our sponsor, Montway Auto Transport. Hey, auto dealers.
Are you there now?
Vehicles are. Yeah, sure am. And when they'll arrive. I know the inventory management challenges dealers face.
It might need another 10 seconds or something, the way that this crazy thing behaves.
Oh, yeah, you're
this
good.
This Wi-Fi maybe is a little wonky. I don't know.
You're good. Can you hear me? Can you hear me there, or are we kind of bouncing?
Yeah, there you go.
You got me?
You there?
Okay. Yeah, sure am.
Okay.
Hey, real quick.
But yeah.
I just want to get in a word from our sponsor here real quick, our friends at Montway Auto Transport. Now, I don't know if they can ship a car all the way to New Zealand, but hey, auto dealers, do you know where your vehicles are and when they'll arrive? Hey, I know the inventory management challenges dealers face, so I'm certain the answer is a resounding no. But Montway Auto Transport can change your answer to a confident yes with the Montway Automation Portal, better known as MAP. MAP offers a smarter way to move and manage orders while giving you end-to-end visibility of all inbound and outbound units. You can upload VINs, get pricing, dispatch the orders, and track every unit on the dashboard. Leveraging MAP can save you time and money and get vehicles to your lots quicker to sell. With MAP, you can book, track, and manage your inventory from one revolutionary platform. See MAP in action at www.montway.com/WS. Write it down. It's www.montway.com/WS and put your dealership on the map. Okay. So what I was going to ask really is just how do people get involved in the dojo? Where do it's a huge commitment. How do the students come in? Is there a audition process? Do you guys select and scout people?
You can apply. You can apply on our website, www.faledojo.com. You got to have, the physical from the doctor. We need to see that to make sure you're fit for this, because some people still try to keep quiet on their medical issues. But, when you're working out and training at this high level, those things reveal themselves, you see?
Sure.
And we got guys coming in, I train, I do this and I do that. And I'm a grown ass man, and and they're tough as nails until an hour in. And then the ones that shout the loudest how big and bad they are, they don't last, you see? And that's usually the case in any kind of situation, wrestling or not, But, you take the physical, we see the physical, so we know we're safe, because, geez, the last thing you need is a medical issue. But then really, that aside, most everybody's welcome. I think obviously you have to be 18 years of age or older. And, the biggest thing is, and it's one of the things that we've discussed, with our program, some people can't take it, and they panic too. But if you're going into the NFL, you don't go from high school football and lollygagging around to all of a sudden training at the high level of an NFL program. You go through the steps through college where you start training harder and you're getting more conditioning to you, and so it just flows right in. Well, you can come here and basically go from sitting on the couch to trying to go at 1,000 miles an hour training like a professional, and that's where it really gets people. And I just think, unfortunately, the way that wrestling's been presented and the way that people involved in the industry seem to talk about it, it gives people the wrong impression. Maybe not the wrong impression for what's going on in the States, but definitely the wrong impression with what's going to go on here. And it's a shame because this is different than what people expect, and some people take to it just fine, and others they can't wrap their head around it, or they don't want to wrap their head around it. They just want to have the fun.
Well, they call it strong style for a reason, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I just never thought of it as just this is how wrestling should be, as far as I'm concerned. This is real professional wrestling. This is how it should be. So.
Yeah, I got you guys. This is the community classes. So you also do classes for just the general public in the area, right? So people can get an idea, the training on Monday, the body shot.
Oh, are you there?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I was just saying you guys do some daily classes too, just for the general
this whole
public.
Thing breaking up there. Are you? Oh, okay.
Yep, there we go.
There we go.
Yeah, here you are. You're back. I think it can go like 2 minutes. It goes like 5 minutes at a time and bounces off, which is fine. We'll just edit it out. I'm almost, we'll wrap up here in just a little bit. Thanks again for the time. I was just saying that you guys have you have some local community classes too.
Yeah, I mean, we are a fitness center of some sort. So we, in addition to, and we started this during the lockdown when it was, we couldn't have students come from overseas. The borders were shut here in New Zealand during the pandemic, and so we started doing group fitness classes for people in the community. When everything started opening up, people wanted to get out. They were cooped up at their house. So we said, come, I've run classes for years in St. Louis. So, and Fale knew that because he stayed with us for a year in St. Louis training. So I just said, I'll start running classes. And we got a couple other trainers to run classes, and we opened it up to the public and have a great time with everybody, meet a lot of great people, and just a lot of fun. So we do that in the evenings after the guys have done their training during the morning. So,
well, that's probably
it's good. It's really good.
Yeah, it's helped you ingrain more with the community too, probably.
In the community, absolutely, yeah. Down here in South Auckland, I mean, it's, I love it down here. It's great, and we're absolutely immersed in the community. So, and yeah, I mean that. In fact, Friday we're having a great big barbecue dinner and an exhibition here. And again, I think we already have, I don't know how many dozen dinners pre-sold, because we're in the Polynesian community in South Auckland, and it's the poly thing that the people here do, where they set everything up, and if they're going to do fundraising, they make a big dinner, big Polynesian barbecue dinner, and sell it, and the community comes because it's such a social environment here. It's just different than in the States, different from anything that I was ever a part of. And just, man, you say the word community down here where we're at in Otahuhu and South Auckland, it's just great. I mean, man. So we try to immerse ourselves into all kinds of things, whether it's the farmers market during the weekend and set up a little
Mm-hmm.
kiosk there, or just being involved in whatever's going on in the community, because there's always some kind of activity going on, whether it's a community picnic or a fair for the Otahu fair going on, or the food festival, for God's sakes. The guys that have been here, the Otahu Food Festival is just insane. So much fun.
No, it sounds like great. Sounds like a great environment and a great atmosphere to really dig in. I wanted to ask you about one of the students too, Oscar, and you can watch this on New
Yes.
Japan World. His journey through the dojo. Yeah, let me know a little bit about him.
Well, Oscar came to us in, gosh, he came in 2019, or there was one intake that I went back to the States. I had to square away some things, so I missed an intake. He may have come and started in that intake, but he came to us from Germany at age 19 and stayed with us for somewhere between 9 months to a year. And one of the first things we did, especially when we got branded New Japan, is we set cameras up all throughout the dojo, the training area, and then linked them to the office in Japan so they can watch and monitor and take a look and see if they like somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And it just so happened that they did, because we had a crew of some pretty big guys. And the matchmaker from Japan, he came over and gave us a visit. And also, because we had just been branded New Japan, they wanted to inspect. They wanted to see how we were training. They wanted to inspect the dojo itself, just to make sure that they're not putting their name on something that's garbage, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, he liked Oscar straight away, and just said, I remember Fale afterwards coming up to me and said, they're taking Oscar. They're taking him to Japan. And, we've had guys before we were officially New Japan. We had, you would go through the system here, and then if Japan liked you, they would put you through their Tokyo dojo, and then you could get a contract from there. But, over the time, they trust what we're doing, and now they said, you don't need to send them to Japan. If you guys give the nod of the head, we can contract them straight out of your dojo in Auckland.
That's awesome.
So that's some trust. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They're going to invest in. They're willing to invest in young talent that they haven't even seen. Well, I guess they have, because we've got the cameras all set up.
Sure.
But you know what I'm saying.
Well,
so
yeah, it's. I was going to say it's a huge vote of confidence for yourself and Fale, because you guys are instilling that
means that means a lot to me as a trainer. That these guys didn't know who I was probably before I came here, other than what Fale told them, because when Fale came to St. Louis in 2012 for a year, I was the one that helped him and kind of looked after him in St. Louis. But I mean, it's nothing I take lightly. They're willing to do that. That means a lot to me, and so I want to really deliver. And man, Oscar's matches are hard hitting and deliberate and logical and just fiery. So I'm loving his journey, and also oh wait, quick second.
No, you're good. You're good.
Oh, you there? So, and it's not only Oscar, but Yuto Nakashima was here as well. And here's another guy that paid his dues to get in the doors of New Japan. In fact, Yuto is a native of Japan, and he tried out several times. He's got mixed martial arts experience. He tried out 2 or 3 times for the New Japan Dojo in Tokyo, and they said no, 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 no. And instead of giving up, he packed his bags and flew 10 hours from Tokyo to Auckland and put himself through the dojo here. And at that point, the New Japan office noticed him and said, "Oh, this was the guy that was knocking on our door." And instead of saying, "Oh, okay, guess I don't have what it takes," said, "Fuck that. I'm going to get in one way or another." Now he's on the roster because when he went back, or they saw him training here, when he went back home, they said, "No, you just come straight to the dojo here." And they put him through their system there. And now he and Oscar, they're like best buds. You know, they're crazy on Twitter. And but I'll tell you something. They had a couple of young lion matches, and they did not hold back. And I thought, hey, don't let that hard fighting go outside the ring to where you're in each other's faces outside. I said, but geez, but also that's just the way that they approach their matches, especially with each other, is a testament to how hard we train these guys here and prep them for the fight. And then that's what they were doing, and that's what Oscar and Yuto do to this day. And I believe both those guys are going to be big time players for a long, long time in this country. And especially Oscar at 6'6" and so much potential. Holy jeez.
Well, it may be a future IWGP champion.
Well, yeah, and I think he's like 23. You know what I mean? He's still a baby.
Really
young,
yeah.
He can take all the time in the world he needs to mature in the ring. And geez, Father Time is his friend right now. And I think he understands that. And so, he's somebody that's going to make professional wrestling exciting in the 2030s. Absolutely.
That's high praise. And you can see more too. You can watch the Lions Roar on New Japan World. It's a great streaming service you can get if you're a fan of pro wrestling. You can see that commitment to excellence from New Japan. And there's lots of names that you'll recognize. Juice Robinson just came over. Just showed up in AEW. He's going to be in some New Japan, like I said, Kenny Omega, and lots of the stars that you're seeing now in WWE and AEW and Impact. Almost all of them have spent time in New Japan. Cody Rhodes getting ready for WrestleMania. He was in New Japan in the Bullet Club. The Elite. I mean, just a who's who, an all-star list. Hey, Tony, I just wanted to...
Yeah, there is.
Go ahead.
Oh, there's a lot more crossover these days than there was years ago. And, maybe that's just it's just the way that, is it out of necessity or is it just the way things have evolved? But yeah, in a way, it's kind of cool. Certainly for the fans, it must be exciting. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you had mentioned St. Louis a few times. I'm in Kansas City. We went and saw AEW in Kansas City and got to see Aussie Open, Will Ospreay, Zack Sabre Jr. So some of the best of New Japan. Minoru Suzuki.
Yeah, So yeah, it's cool because that's it. It brings the foreigners to Japan, and it brings the Japanese guys with New Japan to the States. So it's a win-win.
Mm-hmm. Hey, talking about winning. You get to be the Wrestling with Sales Dealership Rescue Champion of the Week. Let's get the belt up there for you.
Oh
there you go.
God. Oh my God.
So just wanted to ask you a few quick questions in the Champions round.
All right, lay it on me.
How about your most influential pro wrestler? Who is the most influential to you?
My goodness. Would have had to have been Ric Flair, and Bret Hart a close second. Yeah.
Good answers. Sure.
Yeah.
How about what's the best advice you give for somebody who's kind of not sure if they can do something and just lacking a little bit of confidence, what do you tell somebody to get them through? What's your kind of your go-to talking point?
Man, I'm just going to give you a crappy answer because I kind of don't have one. It just, my feedback when someone presents that self is it's always a unique conversation because it's not just the same question. And so I kind of don't have you just got to, it's kind of a lame answer. You just got to find a way.
No,
like I'm the picture perfect, as tiny as I am. And you know how it is when you're a teenager, you're awkward, you feel ugly. I'm sure the girls don't like me, but you got to find or at least I did. If you got the fire in your belly for something, whatever it is, right? And the fire doesn't go away. Well, I'm too small to wrestle because they don't have junior heavyweights in the United States. Okay, I guess I have to just go to work and work a regular job. That fire never left. That desire never left. And you have to find that self. You have to go for it. I said at some point, I'm going to do this and I'll be damned. I'm going to go down in flames because either I'm going to do this and this is my life. I've got to know if I can do it. And whoever's listening out there, if you have, I'm not sure, you've got to find out if you can do it. What are you going to do? Lower your head and, you wanted to do something, start a business, ask a girl out, do wrestling, do football, whatever it is you want to do. You got to you live one time. And man, let me tell you, it goes by fast.
Very
do it.
Good.
What's the worst that could happen? You succeed. The worst that could happen is you find out that you really can't do it. Okay. But finding out that it's not for you, at least it puts to rest that fire in your belly if you give it everything you've got. Right? I just needed to know if I could do it. All I wanted was one match. If I have one match, at least I know what it's like to be in that ring. One match led to one match a week, led to me going to Canada, led to the Northwest Junior title and blah, 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 and led to 26 years later, look at me. I'm a head trainer down here for the New Japan NJPW.
There you go.
If someone would have pulled me aside when I was first refereeing and said, well, this is what you're going to do, I would have never, how far do you think you're going to go, Tony? I'd have said, well, I would just like the one match. You have to have big, giant goals, not just small goals. See what I mean? Dream big and go for it.
Yeah.
Because every small victory that you get, pay attention, every small victory that you get, whether you realize it or not, you build a little more self-confidence. You walk a little taller. And believe me, I need to walk as tall as I can with my fat little ass. And the next thing you know, you're blazing a trail. You got to start. Take one step. That's my advice. See, I start thinking about it and I get
there you go.
I get pissed and start going. But yeah, man, you gotta try it. You gotta, yeah. Take the plunge.
That's awesome, and that's the instruction that brings you a lot of members of the Bullet Club, New Japan. That fundamental philosophy to keep fighting. AJ Styles, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Cody Rhodes, Juice Robinson, Chris Bay, Jay Switchblade White. All sorts of names that you see every day. I mean, it's that dojo experience, that work, that commitment to excellence is so evident, because if you plan to be average, you're probably going to fail. If you plan to be excellent, you have a chance of succeeding. If you just plan to get things done and get by, you're not really committing. You're not really trying.
Yeah. So, go for it. The time's going to pass anyway. So try it. You might find yourself.
Excellent. Hey, Tony, thanks a lot for joining us. And I urge everybody, go ahead and subscribe to New Japan World. Get the streaming service. It's great content. Some of the documentaries, the wrestling matches. There's a reason why they are the king of sport. And the wrestlers in America say New Japan Wrestling is the best. And follow Tony on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on TikTok. There's some great motivational comments. Thanks a lot for joining me today, Tony. I appreciate it.
Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate your time as well, man.
Oh, absolutely.